Flickering lights, a plume of smoke, and complete darkness just moments before devastation.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge crumbled into pieces after a cargo ship slammed into it.
This state has been able to show what it means to be Maryland tough and Baltimore strong.
Today's search efforts shift to recovery as officials try to piece together why and how this tragedy happened.
Plus, building more affordable housing near Disney. Why some people living in the area aren't too happy about what the county is calling the solution to a crisis.
And we're off to a dry start this morning, but that won't last for too long. First Morning meteorologist Kellyanne Class is timing out when you may need to grab an umbrella.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
And a good Wednesday morning. Thank you for starting it with the WESH 2 News Sunrise team. I'm Jason Guy.
And I'm Meredith McDonough. Let's get the day started with a check of the forecast. Meteorologist Kellyanne Class joining us now. Kellyanne, yes, we are off to a dry start to our day here, but that may change a little later on.
Yeah, we're looking at some showers and thunderstorms moving into parts of central Florida. Right now, we're looking at the heaviest rainfall along the Big Bend area as our next front slowly approaches. Happy to say we're not tracking any rainfall in central Florida, though there are some nasty storms just south of Tallahassee that continue to slowly work south and east across parts of the Big Bend area. That will eventually move in our direction, although the intensity of those storms will weaken throughout the day. But as we look into the afternoon hours, some thunderstorms can't be ruled out. It's the first half of the day, though, that's stunning with mostly cloudy conditions. Temperatures eventually warming up into the middle 80s. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll time out this rainfall hour by hour. But first, let's get over to Megan with a check on the roads.
Kelly, good morning. I'm continuing to monitor a major crash right now for those I-4 eastbound travelers who travel from Osceola County, those attractions into downtown Orlando. The crash is at Michigan Street. You can see here the right 3 lanes are blocked in this area. Traffic is only able to get by on the eastbound side in that left lane. This is a hazmat spill involving this truck, so it is going to take some time to clear. Already seeing big backups in this area. Definitely a morning to hop on those express lanes if you need to travel from the attractions area towards downtown Orlando. I do want to give you a look at the map here. You can see those delays building in this area. Heading towards the 408 interchange. Our chopper is heading this way. We'll bring you a live look at those delays and those travel times coming up in a few minutes. Jason.
All right, Megan. It is 6:02 this morning. The rescue efforts following the bridge collapse in Baltimore will now shift into recovery mode.
At least 6 people are presumed dead after a fully loaded container ship slammed into a support column. Sanika Dange has been staying on top of this story since we first brought it to you yesterday morning as breaking news. And Sanika, we're now hearing the urgent calls that came in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and they are heart-stopping. Prayer vigils were held yesterday as state, local, and federal agencies band together in the recovery efforts. And take a listen to the dispatch calls that happened just moments before and after the cargo ship slammed into a support beam of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. 2 people were pulled from the water yesterday, though now 6 are presumed dead, still missing. 24 National Transportation Safety Board investigators are now on site reviewing data recorders and past safety records. President Biden is urging Congress to approve paying for the entire cost of reconstructing the Francis Scott Key Bridge, though engineers say rebuilding could be a 5 to 10-year project. Jason?
And Sanika, this morning, there's still so many questions surrounding this collapse, including the integrity of the bridge. Engineering experts say that while bridges have some built-in defenses against collisions, this one was likely too extreme to withstand. The Francis Scott Key Bridge was built back in 1977. At that time, ships the size of the one that crashed into the bridge yesterday didn't exist. Bridge design and technology has improved since then. But Maryland Governor Wes Moore says the Key Bridge was fully up to code.
We are monitoring everything coming out of Baltimore, and we'll continue to update you on air and online at WESH.com. Make sure you also download the free WESH 2 News app for breaking news alerts.
This morning, Disney's plan for an affordable housing development in West Orange County is moving ahead. Orange County leaders approved the project after a long meeting. WESH 2's Bob Hazen is live in Horizon West, where some people say this project is just too big. Bob.
Yeah, this is a part of the county that's been growing really fast. Lots of new neighborhoods and developments. And some of the people who live here right now try to convince Orange County leaders not to give the green light to Disney's project.
Okay, it is 6:10, and right now it is comfortable for many, a little warm even in some spots, but today things start to change in our forecast.
Yeah, the rain may feel a little good, huh, Kellyanne?
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? And our lawns could certainly need it before we get into a really hot stretch of weather. Out the door right now, no rainfall to track, but Marion County, you'll be one of the locations that will see some showers later on in the day. Right now, though, not too bad. We're into the 70s, couple of 60s across central Florida. We have a front up to our north. This front will move in our direction tomorrow, but ahead of that front, it'll push in some showers and thunderstorms into parts of our western locations. Looking ahead to 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. A couple of more showers from Orlando and west throughout the evening, drying out by the overnight hours, but then we have another round of rainfall arriving tomorrow. We'll talk much more about that timing coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Kellyanne, we'll see you then. A shocking close call on a highway. Look at this. 2 people were involved in a crash, then had to jump to safety, and were nearly hit by a semi. The warning to everyone on the roads, even if they're not behind the wheel.
Plus, the countdown is on to the final Delta IV Heavy launch. How the United Launch Alliance is looking ahead to its next generation of rockets.
You're watching WESH 2.
Tensions are rising between the U.S. and Israel over the dire conditions for civilians in Gaza.
Now that divide is showing up in such public ways that it's surprising some observers. President Joe Biden saying that these demonstrators have a point, and it's another sign of the growing and public rift between the U.S. and Israel. It's widening because the U.S. wants a ceasefire to protect civilians. The Israeli defense minister is taking home that message after visiting Washington this week. And today, another sign of the tension is that top advisors to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are not in Washington, D.C. as originally planned.
New on Sunrise, authorities in Utah are using dash cam video of this shocking near miss to warn drivers about the dangers of highway crash scenes. So look at your screen. You see people on the road. They're fleeing this vehicle that's turned sideways there from a crash right before the semi barrels through at full speed. This is all despite their best efforts to warn oncoming cars. See, they're trying to flag them down. Highway Patrol is using this scary moment as a reminder to all of us. If you get stopped on a highway, use extra caution, and whenever possible, move stopped vehicles off the roadway.
After hearing arguments, the Supreme Court seems likely to preserve access to an abortion medication. The drug mifepristone was used in nearly 2/3 of all abortions in the U.S. last year. This is the first case on abortion to be argued before the Supreme Court since conservative justices overturned Roe v. Wade 2 years ago.
The CDC says more than 1 in 3 adults here in the U.S. have prediabetes, and many of them don't know it. This is a serious health condition in which your blood sugar is elevated, but it's not high enough to be considered type 2 diabetes. About 98 million Americans have prediabetes. The CDC says simple lifestyle changes can help, like more exercise, healthier food choices, not smoking, and managing your weight.
The good news is that prediabetes can be prevented, and type 2 diabetes can be delayed or reversed.
If you are concerned about prediabetes, talk to your doctor and ask for a validated blood test. We need to talk about that outlook because, as we've been saying, Mayor, there's some rain coming in the next few days.
Yeah, it might help with the pollen out there, but not going to help with the launch, that's for sure.
No, and for the last rocket launch, we wanted to make sure that it goes off safely, of course. And today, tomorrow, not looking great to launch anything. But then going into Friday, if they push that back, actually things are looking pretty good. Right. It's just tomorrow that we'll be dealing with a 30% favorable weather conditions because of liftoff winds along with cumulus clouds as our next cold front slides across the state. Right now, that cold front is working across the Panhandle and towards the Big Bend area of Florida, producing showers and thunderstorms, although none of that is making its way here, but it is producing some nasty storms out in the Gulf of Mexico, even a severe thunderstorm warning just northeast of Tallahassee, but again, nothing here. When you drop off the kids from at school, we're just looking at very pleasant conditions. Temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s. Now, when you pick them up from school, we'll get some of those showers and thunderstorms working into our western locations. I don't think we're looking at significant rainfall today. And in fact, a lot of the overall coverage that the models have been hinting at has gone down a bit. But we're looking at about a 40% coverage of rainfall around 5 and 6. And then going into the 7 o'clock time frame, that's down to 30%. Everyone is dry and cool with temperatures in the 70s. By Friday, we'll have plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the low and middle 70s. Saturday morning, off to a cool start with temperatures in the 50s, but we'll warm up into the low 80s. And then looking ahead to next week, we'll have a ridge of high pressure building that'll allow our high temperatures on Tuesday to almost near 90 degrees. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. And I'm continuing to monitor a major crash this morning impacting those drivers close to downtown Orlando. This is I-4 eastbound at Michigan Street. Our chopper just arrived at the scene. This crash does involve this semi-trailer and a fuel spill, so this is a hazmat situation. Traffic on the eastbound side of I-4 at Michigan Street getting by in that left lane, but you can see very slow moving, and those right lanes are blocked off. This is another look here from our FDOT camera in that area. Going to be slow moving through here, so your best bet this morning, if you do need to travel from those attractions, Osceola County towards downtown Orlando, is going to be the hop in those express lanes. You can see those delays building here this morning, and because this is a hazmat situation, it is going to take some time to clear. So expect those delays. Already seeing those travel times continuing to increase this morning. I-4 eastbound from Florida's Turnpike to Altamont Springs, where that fuel spill is, those delays are at 37 minutes. Jason?
The U.S. Navy Blue Angels will soar through the Central Florida skies. How you can see them take flight. That long streak of winless lottery tickets is officially over.
Yes, overnight someone cashed in big on the first Mega Millions jackpot of the year.
Plus, a college student using financial aid to place bets on sports. It's happening more and more.
And how universities are stepping in to prevent them from making too many wrong money moves.
We're going to do everything in our power to help these families find closure.
Now on Sunrise, from rescue to recovery. After dawn, crews will be searching for bodies after the Baltimore Bridge collapse.
In Orange County, Disney's affordable housing project gets the green light, but not everyone who lives in Horizon West is excited about the idea.
Also ahead, a second Central Florida school is going to a year-round calendar.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
All right, it's 6:30 and good Wednesday morning. We're getting you ready for some rain moving into the outlook, so get the umbrella. I'm Jason Guy.
And I'm Meredith McDonough. Yes, lots to cover this morning, but let's start with that forecast. Meteorologist Kellyanne Clash joining us now. And Kellyanne, good morning. We are off, though. At least it's warm out there today.
Yeah, things are pretty warm this morning. We're also tracking just a few showers right around the Big Bend area of Florida, and this will eventually move in our direction going into the afternoon hours. But right now, what we're looking at is overcast conditions and dry conditions as well. Out the door, mostly cloudy to start, very comfortable with temperatures into the 60s and 70s. And then looking ahead to the afternoon, we're warming up into the low and middle 80s, all thanks to a southerly wind picking up around 10 miles per hour. Then we track rainfall. We'll talk much more about that timing coming up in a few minutes. First, though, let's get over to Megan with a check on the roads.
Kelly, good morning. Continuing to monitor some big delays heading into downtown Orlando on the eastbound side of I-4. This is at Michigan Street. Looking live here from our picture from our chopper, you can see that traffic on the eastbound side, if you're just tuning in, only getting by in the left lane. So slow moving through here. This is a hazmat situation because the semi-trailer reportedly spilled some diesel here on I-4. So if you do need to travel from those attractions towards downtown Orlando, your best bet is going to be to hop in those express lanes. You can see traffic getting by here, but it is going to be really backed up if you're using those regular lanes. So expect this throughout the morning. I'll be keeping my eye on this, and we'll check in with these travel times coming up in a few minutes. Jason.
All right, Megan, now to the latest development in the bridge collapse in Maryland. Search and rescue efforts have turned grim. Those 6 missing construction workers are now presumed dead after plunging into the water after the crash. Joining us this morning is Sheldon Dutez. And Sheldon, the recovery work gets going this morning.
It sure does, but they did suspend the search and rescue last night because of safety concerns for the divers who've had to deal with swimming around debris and the frigid water temperatures of the Patapsco River.
Stay with WESH 2 News for continuing coverage of the Baltimore Bridge collapse, from the recovery efforts to rebuilding and the reopening of the port. Now, we'll bring you updates on air and online at WESH.com.
Disney's plan for affordable housing west of Magic Kingdom is moving ahead this morning.
Orange County commissioners signed off on the project that many in the Horizon West area fought to block. WESH's Bob Hazen is there live. And Bob, this would bring more than 1,000 homes.
Yeah, 1,400 more apartments and townhomes coming to Horizon West here. And even though Disney did win last night, it's not a done deal yet.
6:40 now, talking about the forecast out there this morning. Jake, waking up a little warm out there, huh?
Yeah, I think we got some humidity in the mix, and maybe we're going to feel some of that moisture as we see rain move in. Kellyanne.
Yeah, our next front will slowly approach Central Florida, which will help to push in some showers and thunderstorms to our forecast today and tomorrow. Out the door right now, we are dry but warm with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Our front still working across the Big Bend area, bringing some showers and thunderstorms there. Here locally, it won't be until this afternoon that will factor in some rainfall, up to a 40% coverage going into the 5 and 6 o'clock time frame, but even higher if you're west of Orlando. This is the best opportunity to see showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Coming up in a few minutes, we will time it out hour by hour and talk more about tomorrow's rain chances.
All right, Kellyanne. There's a new trend of sports betting on college campuses. How students are getting the money to do it is very risky.
The gamble they're taking before even placing any bets. And they're small but mighty. How these furry caterpillars that just returned to Central Florida could hurt you.
You're watching WESH 2.
There's a wave of sports betting across our nation that's coming to college campuses.
The Nevada Council on Problem Gambling says 1 in 5 college students have admitted to using their financial aid money to place bets. Tussock moth caterpillars are being spotted here again in Central Florida.
Yeah, they don't look too threatening, but their hair can cause some pretty painful irritation if it touches your skin. Those hairs are barbed and venomous. They can stick in your skin and make it itchy and red. Now, locals say they're avoiding trees, especially oaks. That's a common home for the caterpillars. They also like cypress trees. A UCF researcher weighed in on what to do if you come in contact with these caterpillars.
Well, luckily it doesn't last long. Usually the reactions may be like a day or so it's going to last, but you can probably take some tape and you can stick it to the area that touched the caterpillar, or you could run it under cold water.
In a few weeks, they'll cocoon, but you still need to be aware the hairs are going to still be present around the area. By May, officials say you should be in the clear. Experts from all over the country are converging here in Central Florida for the National Hurricane Conference.
First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris spoke to some of those experts yesterday and took a look at some tools available to emergency responders.
So this conference is a great opportunity for us to take the lessons learned from 2023 and figure out what we might do different in 2024.
Our First Warning weather team will be at the National Hurricane Conference all week. Meteorologist Kellyanne Class will be there today. She'll have live coverage on WESH 2 News at noon. And Kellyanne, so you've got a busy one here. So lots happening, though, this conference.
Yeah, and a lot of the emergency managers are meeting and getting together and talking about what they learned through previous hurricanes through all different parts of the coastline, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in the northern Gulf Coast, so they can all learn from each other. And us meteorologists, too, we can learn, what we've seen from different storms. So this is a really good workshop that we're going to have all week long, today, tomorrow. Interested to see what the other workshops will be for the afternoon. And of course, we'll have more of that on WESH 2 News at noon. Out the door right now, not tracking anything in the tropics, but we have a cold front working across the state. This is a slow-moving cold front producing showers and thunderstorms around the Big Bend area and seeing a lot of heavy rainfall out in the Gulf of Mexico, along with a lot of thunderstorm activity. Even around Apalachicola, there is one tiny cell that is producing a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, as this continues to work in our direction throughout the day, a lot of the intensity should weaken, but we'll still see some thunderstorms in the mix going into the afternoon hours. Right now, though, First Warning radar is nice and quiet, not tracking any rainfall yet, but some cloud cover this morning as it continues to push in from the north and west. It's a pleasant start as you get the kids ready for school, waking up the temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. And then by the time you pick the kids up, we will be warm with temperatures reaching the low and middle 80s. And we'll also be tracking those showers and thunderstorms. For the first half of the day, though, we're completely dry going into the afternoon, especially around 5 and 6. That's when we'll see the bulk of the rainfall, up to a 40% coverage. And if you're along our western locations, this is where you'll see the highest rainfall amounts and highest rainfall coverage. 1:30, 2 o'clock, watching I-75 for some showers and thunderstorms. That continues to stream in until 6. After 6, we have scattered rain, but not so much thunderstorms. And then going into the late night hours, we'll keep a few isolated showers around. Otherwise, we're dry. Then starting tomorrow morning, as that cold front approaches, 7, 8 o'clock, we'll be tracking scattered showers across our northwest and central locations. By 10, our northwest locations are dry, watching I-4 for a few showers, and then everyone clears out by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That's going to set us up for a clear rest of the afternoon and evening, and cool as well, with temperatures dipping into the middle and upper 70s. We will also have breezy winds out of the northwest at 20 to 25 miles per hour. Friday afternoon is even cooler, with temperatures in the middle 70s all around, couple of lower 70s as well. And then Saturday morning, we're waking up to temperatures in the 50s and a few 40s. But by Saturday afternoon, our ridge of high pressure builds. That'll warm us up into the 80s, and we'll continue the 80s into the beginning of next week, although Tuesday we're warming up into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Kellyanne. A couple of big traffic issues I am monitoring this morning. This one here impacting the most drivers. I-4 eastbound at Michigan Street. All the lanes except the far left 2 lanes are shut down this morning because of a diesel spill involving a semi-truck. So a live picture from our choppers shows those backups. If you do need to travel this way, I would recommend using those express lanes. So those people traveling from Osceola County, those theme parks towards downtown Orlando, I-4 eastbound express is going to be your best bet this morning. There's also a deadly crash in Umatilla. This is very northern Lake County. This is County Road 42 at 248th Terrace. You can see that shut down here this morning. As I mentioned, very northern Lake County. But if you are heading that way, something I did want to mention. So working to confirm more details, but sadly, at least one person was killed in this crash. Checking in on those travel times, where that incident is along I-4 eastbound. Big delays from Florida's Turnpike to Altamont Springs. We're sitting at 41 minutes and growing. Don't go anywhere. Your top stories are next.
First warning weather on WESH 2 brought to you by DeLuca Toyota in Ocala.
We are back now at 6:53.
Our Sunrise team is getting you a final check of this morning's top news, weather, and traffic.
Well, the rescue efforts in Baltimore have shifted to a recovery after yesterday's catastrophic bridge collapse. Officials think at least 6 people are dead after a fully loaded cargo ship slammed into one of the bridge's support columns. President Biden says the federal government will pay for the entire cost of rebuilding that bridge, but it could take years.
I'm Bob Hazen in Horizon West, where Disney's plan to bring affordable housing to this area is now moving forward. It would bring 1,400 apartments and townhomes to this area near the 429 west of Magic Kingdom. Orange County commissioners approved it last night, but state regulators will have the final say on whether it gets built.
The Central Florida Tourism Oversight District will vote on a new administrator today. Governor Ron DeSantis recommended Stephanie Kapelousis for the job. There's a spot on the board after Glenn Galzine became Orange County's supervisor of elections. 28 Floridians landed at Orlando International Airport last night from Haiti. These rescues are part of Governor Ron DeSantis' executive order to get them out of the unrest and violence on the island. The state says the goal is to fly people out of Haiti every day.
A cyber attack is still affecting a number of city departments in St. Cloud. People in the area are having trouble reaching the city by phone, and some are making important payments in cash. Experts say if you have any doubt about an email, don't click any links inside.
Meteorologists from all over the nation are converging in Orlando for the National Hurricane Conference. It continues today, and our first warning team is there all week. Kellyanne Class will have live coverage today on WESH 2 News at noon. And we want to get over to Kellyanne with that forecast that does include rain.
It does. Now, thankfully, not everyone's going to see rainfall this afternoon, but do know if you're along our western locations, you have the highest rainfall coverage. Later on today, especially between 5 and 6, we're looking up to a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. At least this morning, we are off to a dry start and warm. Eventually today, we'll warm up to about 86 degrees. Tomorrow morning, we'll be waking up to a few showers and thunderstorms clearing out by the afternoon. Temperatures dropping into the 70s, then plenty of sunshine on Friday with highs in the low and middle 70s. Megan.
Kellyanne, a final look at traffic this morning. Big delays I-4 eastbound at Michigan Street. This is because of a fuel spill, so a hazmat situation. If you do need to travel from the theme parks towards downtown Orlando, hop in those express lanes. Also in Lake County, there is a deadly crash in Umatilla. This is along County Road 42 at 248th Terrace, so expect that road blocked in both directions for the entirety of the morning. Jason.
All right, we thank you for spending part of your day with the Sunrise team.
And we'll be right back with a look at what's ahead on CW18. We are wrapping up the 6 a.m. hour here on Sunrise, but we still have 3 more hours to go on CW18.
Yeah, and we're turning things over to Sheldon Dutes and Sonica Donke. Good morning.
Good morning, you two. We are still following new details in the bridge collapse in Baltimore, learning more about the moments that led up to the cargo ship crashing into one of the support beams and what the government is doing to help.
And a California community has declared itself a safe haven for transgender people, the first of its kind sanctuary city.
And Easter is coming up this weekend. No doubt, we don't have to tell you that, but if you feel like it came earlier than usual, you can blame the moon. We'll explain.
Okay.
A March Easter. It is very early.
And it's the moon's fault.
Well, thanks for watching. Have a great day.